lighthearted look at Aesop's fables and what they mean in today's world. Let's deconstruct each fable to find out who is learning the lesson and what really the lesson is to be learned. Welcome to episode 2 of Deconstructing Aesop's Fables. Today is a good one. The Owl and the Grasshopper. The owl always takes her sleep during the day. Then after sundown, when the rosy light fades from the sky and the shadows rise slowly through the wood, out she comes ruffling and blinking from the old hollow tree. Now her weird hoo, 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 ooh, ooh echoes through the quiet wood, and she begins her hunt for the bugs and beetles, frogs and mice she likes so well to eat. Now there was a certain old owl who had become very cross and hard to please as she grew older, especially if anything disturbed her daily slumbers. One warm summer afternoon, as she dozed away in her den in the old oak tree, a grasshopper nearby began a joyous but very raspy song. Out popped the old owl's head from the opening in the tree that served her both for door and for window. "Get away from here, sir," she said to the grasshopper. "Have you no manners? You should at least respect my age and leave me to sleep in quiet." But the grasshopper answered saucily that he had as much right to his place in the sun as the owl had to her place in the old oak. Then he struck up a louder and still more rasping tune. The wise old owl knew quite well that it would do no good to argue with the grasshopper, nor with anybody else for that matter. Besides, her eyes were not sharp enough by day to permit her to punish the grasshopper as he deserved. So she laid aside all hard words and spoke very kindly to him. "Well, sir," she said, "if I must stay awake, I am going to settle right down to enjoy your singing. Now that I think of it, I have a wonderful wine here, sent to me from Olympus, of which I am told Apollo drinks before he sings to the highest gods. Please come up to taste this delicious drink with me. I know it will make you sing like Apollo himself." The foolish grasshopper was taken by the owl's flattering words. Up he jumped to the owl's den, but as soon as he was near enough so the owl could see him clearly, she pounced upon him and ate him up. Flattery is not proof of true admiration. Do not let flattery throw you off your guard against an enemy. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money on your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, so let's get to this. There's clearly a protagonist and an antagonist in the story. My problem is I'm not exactly sure which one is which. I know that one of them is trying to sleep and the other one is trying to have a good time in the middle of the day. They present this owl as a hunter in the nighttime. So one day this grasshopper, with absolutely no knowledge of this sleeping owl, is happily singing in the daytime with, there shouldn't be a problem, right? So it seems like it's perfectly okay. And then this mean old owl, the way they make it seem, like stern, set in their ways owl that wakes up in the dusk time and then goes hunting at night or whatever its real job might be, maybe a spy for something. The old owl claims that the real reason is its age, the grasshopper should respect the age of this owl for whatever reason, because it's the middle of the day and this poor grasshopper just wants to sing. It's not a cricket. Anyway, the mean old owl comes out and is like, you need to pipe down. And the grasshopper's like, no, I'm just gonna keep singing. So the owl is like, I'm too old for this. Apparently this owl's been divorced, knows not to argue, has been through some sort of therapy, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, like an owl drinking with a grasshopper. But I guess it happened in Aesop's days. As soon as the grasshopper gets around the side of the house to go inside, the owl eats it. Again, I am not sure that the proper punishment that this grasshopper should have to endure is murder for singing during the daytime when this owl's sleeping. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and stay tuned for the next episode, and check out the Facebook page for just a straight reading of these Aesop's fables.